Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Every moment, we have decisions to make. And these decisions can be Preya, which means small, small-hearted, short-term. They can be Shreya, which means big, large-hearted, long-term. Or they can be Nishreya, which means infinite, a oneness, a forever. This is Nishchitam Shreya, a clear, a convinced, a confident Shreya. There are no conditions. This is universal. Meaningful Mornings has a focus on growing up from Preya to Shreya to Nishreya, highlighting again how unconditional this is, how universal this is. If you look around at the seekers who join us through Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, the recordings, such diversity, which shows that Nishreya is universal. Prince Arjuna is struggling. On the surface, the reason for this struggle is attachment. Analyzing his struggle more deeply, it is not because of attachment, it is because of doership. Whenever we hear this word doership, we think of this very technically. One who's conceited. Some of us may think, we are doers. How can this be a struggle? Personalize this. A doer is one who has forgotten that they are happiness. What is doership? I am not happiness, which is why I'm doing to become happiness. So another way to think of a doer is a becomer. That doesn't make sense in English, but it has a lot of impact in philosophy, yes? Prince Arjuna feels he is not happy, which is why he gets attached and thinks articles, beings, circumstances will make him happy. Sri Krishna is not focusing on the surface or symptoms. He is directly going to the source. And this is so evident. When Sri Krishna begins teaching, he starts with the absolute message. You are infinite, which means you are happiness, which means there's no need for attachment. Conversely, there should be affection. The train of thought we're in right now, I'm going to give you many comparisons. The semi-gods cannot affect the omni-god. In Sanskrit, the devas cannot affect Bhagwan. Do you all agree? Your reading, your studying would verify this. Shared differently, the elements cannot affect existence. Clear? Do you agree? Shared differently, the senses cannot affect the spirit. Do you feel that? In summary, doership does not affect being. I may be stuck on being a doer or becomer now, yet if I know I am happiness, I don't have to create that. I only have to know that. Because the doer cannot affect the beer. You are the beer. We've forgotten this. We're ignoring this. We're trying to know this. If this is too abstract, and for some it is, which is why we're studying this in such a steady and systematic way. You're not being taught 15 verses in 4 days, over 4 hours. I keep expanding our timeline from 1,000 mornings to 2,000 mornings. I will probably die before we finish Bhagavad Gita. If this is too abstract, here's a tactile thought for you. The equipments are equipments. Use them, don't be them. If you feel you are the equipments, ego, intellect, mind, breath, body, if you feel you are these equipments, you will forever be a becomer. Because that's what these equipments do. They're trying to become complete. But if you use them, which means you are not them, this will be the game changer to know you are more than these equipments. As long as an equipment is healthy, like your body, it will not affect you. Have the right relationship with these equipments. I keep repeating the sentiment, you have to know to benefit. Are all of you appreciating this? I'm going to give you a secular example. In Canada, one's taxes are due by April 30th. So a few weeks ago, Sheila and I went to our family accountant, and Shuka came with us. And the accountant asked, "Who's this?" And I said, "This is our younger son." And they didn't have that on file. And when they put that on file, then we got a $75 credit. See, it's worth having a second child. You get $75 back a year. But see, the implication is they didn't know that. So we as their clients didn't get that benefit. Now that they know that, we receive that benefit. Yes? Now imagine how much more meaningful this is with the sacred. Verses 11 to 25, which we've just completed, Shri Krishna is trying to remind Prince Arjuna about his vastness, which is why he shares, you are these other leaders. You are going to be the next body. Shri Krishna is starting with an absolute perspective, an absolute teaching. Now, verses 26 to 30, which we're about to enter, he's trying to remind Prince Arjuna about change. From vastness to change, an absolute teaching to a relative teaching. And you'll notice this because in the previous verse, the word tasmat is used, almost like a summary. In this verse, atha, which means a commencement. I've completed one thought, I'm commencing a new thought. I feel if you study Bhagavad Gita by yourself, these dots are not connected. Yes? It is when you're in such a community that all of these dots, you have lines between them, and this helps us to know. Verse 26. Ata chainam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam tatapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi. A simple thought. I'll take it line by line. Ata, I'm commencing new teaching. Cha enam nitya jatam. Enam, the spirit, your nature. Nitya jatam means ever born or forever being born. Va, and nityam mritam manyase, and also ever dying or forever dying. If you think of the spirit as being ever born and ever dying. Okay? That's the translation of the first line. Sri Krishna is pointing out to Prince Arjuna that change is changeless. Change is ever. Change is forever. And one knowing that, so much of one's inner world and outer world changes then. My inner world, if all is changing, I shouldn't have attachment, correct? If all is changing, I should be more appreciative, because who knows when my health will change, my relationship will change. This is especially in the context of the past 15 verses that have taught us about reincarnation. We all know change in terms of weather and the economy and conflict, unfortunately, in the world. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there. This change is not just in your face, it is lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Fine, tell me what I'm supposed to do with this. The second line. Tatapi tvam mahabaho. Mahabaho, you are strong, outside and inside. A expression of this, na eva, certainly not. Shochitum arhasi, do you deserve to, or should you be sad? So sharing once again, if you feel the spirit is always being born and always dying, then why are you crying? It will die, it will be born again. The way Swami Tejomayananda taught us this, there's no reason to cry for the infinite. There is no reason to cry for the finite. Why would one cry for the infinite? The infinite is unchanging. And why would one cry for the finite, which is ever changing? Focusing on the finite, you either adapt or accept change. Knowing that the rest of the day is going to change, adapt to it. And if you've adapted and still there's a change that is not within your radar, accept it. I try to come up here. I try to lock the door. See, I adapt, but I'm just not that smart or powerful. So I accept that different people will come and say Hakuna Matata while I'm trying to teach Bhagavad Gita. There's no point in crying. There's a point in getting fake angry so we learn, but there's no point in getting me crying. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was to feel your formless, lightless nature in all. You can share your observations. Here's one very strong one. As long as you feel divinity has a specific form and name, there will only be conflict. Just read about what's happening in the Middle East, because this form and name is right, which means your form and name of the divine is wrong. But if one understands the divine is formless and nameless, you will not have a fight with yourself or anyone. Your application for this morning, there's a lot of cool movies where if there's imbalance, something negative happens. Like there's a movie where if your heart rate increases, this will explode. That's very much like reality, no? So for the rest of the day, I don't want your heart rate to increase because of your mind. If you exercise, that's good. My point is adapt or accept, but you are not allowed to have your heart rate increase, for your mind to become agitated. Adapt and or accept. And now briefly, I want to show all of you again the lovely art that a seeker has made for me/us. When we began our internalization of Bhagavad Gita, we're doing that through reading and writing and reflecting. She's also doing that through a unique writing and reflecting. Gratitude. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.